Hey guys, I'm Will.
I'm Nick.
We're two guys who vape, and this is the Mod Pod. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a two-parter. Right off the bat, I'm going to start talking about a new device that we got in. These guys are going to be the Caliburn AK3s. Nice tiny little device. It does have a lanyard that comes with it. They're going to be all metal. I'll actually come up a bit. But you can kind of see right there going on. It does have a nice little hole there where you can actually see where your juice level is. That is very convenient. And on the front here, it does have a little light display to tell you your battery percentage. And on the bottom, that is where that guy charges. Overall, I just wanted to tell you guys about these. We got them in as a sample maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Haven't had an issue with it since. Doesn't leak on me. The battery lasts at least all day. I haven't had a single issue, like I said. So I would definitely recommend these guys, and we have gotten them in most of our locations. So if you feel like this is something you want to check out, feel free to stop in. If you want to see a little bit more on it, I know we are going to be doing a deeper dive on it in one of those short videos, so stay tuned for that, guy. That'll probably be out next week or sometime around there. But I know somebody over here did just happen to switch from disposables over to a pod system. He is rocking both of them right there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience, Nick?
Before I get into mine, also with your device here, it is very small. It is very compact. It is perfect to fit in your pocket. If you're looking for something that's very easy, very slim, there's nothing too bulky about it. This is definitely something you could go to. I've taken a hit off of it. It has a very good draw. You don't have to really suck your air out or anything to get it in. It is a nice, easy, smooth draw. The juice is perfect in it. It tastes amazing. You get good flavor out of it. So when we do have all of these and everybody comes in, it's definitely something to look forward to. Now, between the last episode we did and this episode, I did decide to get a pod system. It is the Sonder. Now, Will has done a couple videos about it, especially even on the podcast, he's done a video on it. I was looking for something that was going to be easier to use because I don't necessarily need the bulkiness in what I was going for. So I wanted something easy to use, something small that I can use the salt nicotine with because I've been using the disposables. So my first impressions of it, I do like it. The only problem that I'm starting to run into is from using the disposables so long, with the way that the disposables hit, it is a little different so that it feels like you're not getting as much. And the flavor profile is a little bit weaker because of the way disposables are made. But it's not something that is going to really, it's not something that's deterring me back or anything to try and go back over to the disposables. We still have, flavors that people like. So if I have a specific flavor I was looking for, I could still put it in this device. I just got to get used to it because of all of the disposables that I've been using. And another thing, it is way more cost efficient.
So, not to interrupt here, but I know you were saying it was a little difficult with how they hit. Did you go with the same milligram of nicotine? Did you drop down a little bit?
So, I went with what I had previously when I was using salt nicotine, which was a 35 milligram.
Okay. So that could add on to it as well, where it feels like the disposables hit a lot harder because you also did drop down 15 milligrams of nicotine.
And that is a noticeable drop.
Yep.
I wanted to ease myself back into it too because I know that the disposables hit a different way than the pod systems do, than your box mods do. Everything has a different way that it hits and a different way of how strong or weak it is with your juice flavors as well. And that also goes down to brand and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of parameters that go into it, but for the most part, it's not something that's deterring me back. And with the cost part of it, it's making it so that it's more worth it over time because you're not spending as much on the disposable. I mean, your coils, your pods are going to last you your normal 2.5, 3 weeks in that range. Most people go through disposables in a week, so you're probably getting about 3-4 disposables per month. And honestly, if you're looking at it, it's really not cost efficient at all to do it that way.
I mean, I know we've talked about it before. For me, a bottle of Salt Nick typically lasts anywhere from 3 weeks on the very low end when I'm just blowing through it to sometimes a month and a half, 2 months if I'm being kind of sparing with my juice, only filling my pot up maybe, I don't even want to say once a day. If it's like I fill my pot up once every 2 days, I can typically make that bottle last me about a month and a half. So when you're talking a bottle of juice being like $19.99, $24.99 on like one of the more expensive ends for your pod juice, or your salt nicotine, I should say. In that case, it is going to add up when you're only paying about $10 a month or two for a pack of pods, and then another $20 for your juice.
Mm-hmm.
So that is probably a big change.
Well, I mean, I know everything in the world's up right now. Inflation's higher now. So if you are looking for something more cost efficient, definitely either one of these devices, his pod system or my pod system, is definitely the way to go. They're very easy to use. They're not complicated. It's a good durable mod as well. I've watched him drop this sonder that he has multiple times because he's clumsy. And all that happens is the pod just detaches off, puts the pod back on, and it works perfectly fine.
I mean, I'll even do it right here on video. Fine. Never had any issues with any of my devices. I think it was after 10 months of dropping a sonder religiously, multiple times every day, it finally decided to slide out. Like the battery slid out of the casing there, but I was able to slide it right back in. As long as you line up the charger port, it goes back in no problem, continues to charge, continues to fire. Never had any issues with their durability, and I'm saying that from the stance of somebody who drops their stuff constantly.
How have you had any leaking issues with that?
With this guy, like I said, I've only been using it probably about 2-3 weeks, but in that time, I haven't had any leakage. If anything, maybe like the equivalent of a drop of juice just being smeared around the outside of my pod, but that's really about it. And I know like some of your bigger box mods, you'll have leaking issues with those guys where it feels like you just have your juice pouring out of them sometimes, especially if you do something like leave it in a hot car during the summer. That's always one quick way to have some leaking issues right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now is the time where we go off the wall a little bit. So me personally, I am very excited to be getting out of this dreary old winter, getting into the spring and the summer. Weather's getting a little bit warmer. Is there anything specific that you're really looking forward to? I know we've talked about it a little bit of what we're looking forward to this year, but any specific things for like the spring or the summer that you're really looking forward to?
Ooh, spring and summer that I'm looking forward to. Well, one of our friends is down in Baltimore, so looking forward to going down to some Orioles games this year. That's always a good time. Taking the dogs out on some hikes, getting out, hopefully catching a state record catfish. That would be nice. He's sick of me talking about that. I've been talking about it for about the past year now. That's one of my big goals. But yeah, overall, those are some of the things I'm really looking forward to. How about you?
So I'm surprised you left it out, but there is some very, very good stacked UFC cards coming up that we are very excited to watch and see how they unfold. I'm on the same table as you are with all the fishing and stuff. I can't wait to go out. I feel rejuvenated when the spring comes out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because winter is so dreary, it gets dark so easily, so quickly, and then you finally get days where it's nice out, the weather's looking better, and you just want to do anything. You know what I mean? So I'm really looking forward to everything that I possibly can do this summer.
Okay. Let's not forget, one of our questions that we had recently was answered. We said, like, what was one thing we were looking forward to kind of seeing how everything goes in the vape industry? One of our things was, are the disposables going to continue to get bigger? Remember we talked about that one?
Yep, and they already have come out with a 20,000 puff disposable and a 25,000 puff disposable. So, if they came out this early with those, I think they're going to continue throughout the year. Maybe a 30,000 puff one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep you guys updated.
But until next time,
keep chasing them clouds, everybody.